Hi, Brandon Kuehl, Product Development Architect here at the Members Group, here to provide you an update on where and how to plan for an EMV implementation or adoption. I think the first thing to do as a financial institution getting ready and thinking about EMV is really figuring out your strategy. So what type of cards do you want to adopt? Are you doing this program to accommodate travelers? Are you doing it to accommodate the EMV liability shift? Are you doing it as a move towards NFC mobile payment transactions? Those things will really drive the type of card that you're going to adopt and really the type of program that you're going to do. And also those choices will affect the costs and timeline of your implementation. So if you're thinking about a travel card program, you're really going to want to look at some of the offline solutions that Visa and MasterCard offer. So you may want to think about an offline PIN card and also an offline authorization card. Overseas, there's many merchants that don't have an internet connection and therefore can't reach out for an online authorization. And so that's really where that offline PIN comes into play. And so if you're going to offer a travel card and you want universal acceptance of that card, you're definitely going to want to consider an offline solution. The one caveat to an offline solution is that the time to implement is much longer, the cost is higher, and so you've got to factor those things in. If you're looking at just a program to really accommodate these October 2015 liability shift timelines, you may want to stick with an online-only solution. Assuming that the card is going to be used in the United States 99% of the time, the amount of work that's required for an offline solution is probably not going to make sense if you are offering a U.S. Only card. And so here in the U.S., there's a couple schools of thought on, do you do signature for verification? Do you do PIN for verification? And I think those answers vary depending on whether it's a debit card or a credit card. I think on the credit card side, you'll see probably 75% of the cards will be signature verified as opposed to PIN. Most credit cards today do not have PIN verification, and so people aren't necessarily used to remembering a PIN on the credit card side. And most folks today probably have one debit card or maybe two debit cards, and so they may remember one PIN today. In the future, they may have to remember 5 or 6 PINs, and so I think that becomes cumbersome from a cardholder perspective. And so I think keeping signature on the credit card side may make sense. But again, you're going to see probably wide adoption of both and merchant adoption of both. If you think about a bar or a restaurant, they're probably not going to want to do PIN verification because that would require them bringing a terminal or swipe machine out to every table or to have it on the bar, etc. And so that PIN verification doesn't make sense from their perspective. So we talked about some of the choices that you've got to make, and really that strategy of what type of program do I want to do, when do I want to launch it, who am I trying to accommodate, who are the vendors that are touched. So every financial institution has a unique set of vendors, a unique setup in how they process and route transactions, and I think it's good to start looking at where those transactions flow and each person that you hit, because they will likely all have to be touched during an EMV implementation. And what we're seeing is that because everybody in the U.S. is moving towards this 2015 timeline, there's a large queue of clients at every vendor. And so as an example, today both Visa and MasterCard have roughly a 6 to 8 month queue to start a project with them. And so when you think about that, you're going to have quite a bit of time to prepare, and I think it's good to use that time to develop your business case, your strategy, figure out what you want to do. And once you've got that, then go ahead. This is definitely not something that you want to rush into just because of the complexities of the product itself.